up and the chat rolls in. Stories fly and the night begins. Some talk steak, some talk life. Some just trying to get it right. Names on the screen, but it feels real close. Laughing easy like we're all on the porch. Different roads, but we meet right here. Pull up a chair, we're already there. Target prime rib, come on in. Riblets gather, let the talk begin. Laugh a little, say what it is. Ain't no pressure here in this carnivore keto. However you roll, we're just talking live and feeding the soul. Ain't about perfect, just where you're at. We're all hanging out, chewing the fat. Come on back, chewing the fat.
Hey, fellow Riblets, it's me, Tom from Target Prime Rib. How you guys doing today? That was my brand new intro video. I hope you guys liked it, and it's all compliments to John Together Strong. So, John, thank you so much for putting that in there. And just for you, I'm going to post your channel in the chats. So anybody that's not subscribed to John, and you'd be crazy if you're not, please do so. All right. So we have my special guest here, Paul. Oh my God, Salvaterra, right? Yep. Is here, and we've been waiting for this for quite a while. I know you were on with Amy Davis about a week or so ago. And before we start, I just want to do a little shout out. I just want to do a little recognition to the people that are here that have joined us, that are waiting in their homes. And then we're going to go into the story. So just remember, I actually put it on the top of the, I pinned it. Just to remind you guys to put in #Riblets, because thanks to Paul's generosity, we are going to win a CGM. Is the prize. So once you put your thing in there, I'm going to put your name into the wheel, and we are going to share, and we are going to spin the wheel to find out who the winner is. Look at that, Libre 2. So even if you don't need one, just remember there's probably somebody that does need one. Now, if there's somebody here that doesn't need one and doesn't know anybody that needs one, then what I'm going to ask you to do is, if you get picked, if you have somebody in the chats that you think that should win it, you could give it to that other person, in my opinion. So just let us know, and we will figure out what, we'll probably have it where you email me, and then I will send the information to Paul, and then from there, Paul will do whatever he needs to do. All right, so let's move on. So we got, first on the list, we got Sandy Blythe, my carnivore mom, is here. And then we got Princess Mom is also here, M-A-H-M, not M-A-M. All right. And then we got John Together Strong himself, because he probably wanted to see the premiere of his own video, I'm guessing. Right, John? We got Jemmett is here, Juju. And then we got Bacon Runner, Donna Ray is here in the chat. So welcome, Donna Ray. And we got Smoothie 420. And then we got No Slow Gary is here. And we got Evelyn Keto Helpline. Hey, Evelyn, how you doing? And of course, we can't skip Booby Goats. Erin herself is here. And then we have Free Thinker 5930. And right now, that's all we have. According to the thing, we have 14 people watching. I know it's going to go more than that. Just to show Paul some love and make sure you like the video, and because I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty good interview. So just make sure that if you want to, just share it, and so your other friends can watch it too and see Paul's amazing story that I think Paul's going to be revealing. So without further ado, let's hear Paul's story.
I gotta get some circulation back in my jaws. I laughed so damn hard when that intro started.
Hello, Black
Because
Box Warning.
my first thought was, some Disney character. Because my grandkids just came back today from a Disney cruise in the Bahamas, and I thought, oh my God, this is just unbelievable. So that's quite the thing, and yeah, quite very amazing, And I was kind of hoping that by some stroke of luck, or some judge had too much to drink or something, my grandson was going to win the world championship for dance in his age group, and since he was he was the youngest, and he was really, the competition was incredibly stiff, and he really he did really well, but he didn't medal, and he didn't even get invited back for next year, and he's got to requalify if he wants to go back. And so anyhow, but yeah, it's just really cool, and glad to be here, and glad to see all the friends in the audience. And I've become quite the little fan lately of Bacon Runner's little cooking stuff. I get kind of embarrassed when I watch her workouts. So girl's going to be 69 on May 15th, and she
Amazing, isn't it?
put me to shame. But I just got my gym membership approved, and Monday, my first day at the gym, I'll be following the Dr. Richard Bernstein's workout plan for 70-year-olds.
Excellent.
And yeah, it's my new thing. And I'm a Bernstein boy now. I follow the Bernstein book, and low carb to no carb. The only difference between me and Bernstein is I do no carb. He did 30 carbs a day, and max. And so he was 9 years old. He was type 1 diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
And he became a doctor to prove his point. And he introduced the low carb diet and made it popular and made life a lot better for a lot of people. And there's a lot of Bernstein people out there, and he was put down by his own profession. Many doctors said he was a flaky, fluky fart blossom. They did not like him. And but he stood up to the ADA and everybody else, and he was right then, and he's still right now. And anyhow, he's kind of my idol, and I've been very heavily involved with him, following his outline in his book, and there's about 100 videos of him on the internet. All the Baker, Chafee, I think Barry, many of the greats have interviewed him. And when they did, he was in his 80s. He passed away last year at 90. And so just, to go that long as a type 1 diabetic and living basically a pretty normal life with normal blood sugar, was, as opposed to you're going to die at 40, is a tremendous achievement. And it's just N equals 1, he proved it. And he proved it on a lot of people. And I don't think he'll be forgotten very soon. And that's just kind of my story on that. So I wound up type 2 diabetic on May 4th, 1992. I was 35 going on 36. And far too young. And, back then, the A1C was not a standardized test yet. That didn't happen until 1996. And so one lab, you may be a 6. At a different lab, that 6 may be a 6.5 or something different. It was finally standardized throughout the world in 1996 and updated in, I think, 2003 and 2007. There were very small adjustments made to it. And you think about the CGMs everybody's talking about and we're giving away today, they're only 15 years old. And I don't know when the finger prick, you get a little drop of blood off your finger onto a glucometer, like this $9 special from Walmart. $9. Rely on. Highly reliable, highly accurate. This has been tested by LabCorp, and it was right on the money. One point difference between this and their blood sample that went to the lab. So very accurate, very dependable. Just hurts like hell at 70 years old to get a drop of blood out of your finger. So I use what's called alternative site bloodletting. That's what I call it. So I take it out of my forearm. And just very difficult to get blood out of your fingers when you get older. Not to mention the pain and suffering. We'll talk more about CGMs in a little bit because I'm making a deep dive into CGM use and accuracy. And it's really quite exciting what's happening in the world of manufacturing of CGMs too. I'll share some of that as we go along. But anyhow, at the time I was diagnosed diabetic, I had a 1-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old, and a mentally ill wife. It wasn't her fault, but that's the way it was. So I had to do everything. I had to make the paycheck, buy the groceries, cook the food. I did most everything, and not bragging, just the way it was. And finally, I don't know, 10 years after that, I guess my wife left, and that was kind of a blessing, and got the three of them off into the world, and we had one hiccup. We had my second child. My first child was my daughter, and she had my 4 grandchildren. That's where the grandkids come from. My second child, 2 years later, was Justin, and he's the amazing one-legged wonder. He had his leg amputated at age 12. He had a deadly cancer, same cancer Ted Kennedy Jr. had. And very fortunate, was in his ankle, caught it very early, and we wound up with a really big margin of safety, and he survived. It was a kind of cancer where they come in and tell you, most likely you're not going to be here next year. And those doctors don't have a whole lot to celebrate, usually, okay? And now today, he's been a butcher, a meat cutter. He's went to chef school. He's cooked with the finest chefs in the Northeast of America. And he manages many big restaurants, and now he's making legs for a living. He's a prosthetic technician. I don't know any other way to pronounce it or say it.
Right.
But
Well, that's pretty cool,
Yeah, it's a big company. They got about 60 people making legs every day. And he makes 5 to 8 legs every day. It's and those are 10-hour days. And he what's he do? He's so every 3 minutes we cut off a diabetic leg. Every 3 minutes. That's how bad type 2 diabetes is now in America.
It's scary,
Yeah, it is. And the other scary thing about diabetes is it's showing up in younger and younger and younger people. A couple of years ago, I worked with an 18-year-old lady and female, and she was type 2 diabetic at age 18. And we thought we were young, huh? And so, I was on the path to diabetes at age 4 or 5, that loved carbs, ate them all the time. My mother baked. She couldn't cook, but she could bake. So we had cake and pies and cookies all the time, and couldn't make a decent hamburger, but that's another story. And so I was so concerned, I had so much on my plate, just taking care of my kids and getting through life every day. I didn't take very good care of myself. A lot of times I was walking around with blood sugar at 300-400 all the time, And
Sounds like me.
yeah, but I was,
We probably have the people in here.
I've had a couple blessings in my life though. One was I was 35. They put me on a statin. Okay, I was about 35, 36 years old. They put me on a statin, and I was allergic to it. I could only take it for 3 weeks, and I couldn't take it no more.
Right.
And so the two major brands, I was allergic to both. I consider that a blessing from God. So I don't have a lifetime of statins behind me. For some strange reason, they don't know why, I have extremely strong kidneys. Okay. And the doctors just kind of look at it and go, you should be in, kidney disease. You should be staged whatever, you're fine, and they shake their heads, I think they're upset, he's not sick. How come we can't make no money here,
Yeah, they're not going to make any money off of you if they're sick.
Yeah. And then I have no eye problems from my diabetes. I have eye problems, but they're not from my diabetes. And another blessing, just got lucky, and really, I've conquered a lot of things. Well, let's just kind of look at it. There was the Obama plan, Obamacare, and even though I qualified for 1 year, I couldn't sign up for it. Computers weren't working, couldn't get anyhow. So I've been in and out of healthcare a lot. Finally, I turned 65. I was moved up here in Pennsylvania from North Carolina. Spent 30 years in North Carolina. And so anyhow, what really happened was I turned 65, get my Medicare. Now I got medical insurance. I go to the doctors, and very quickly they signed me up to see an endocrinologist. And he was talking, and he told me how he only eats 30 carbs a day. And I was just starting to exercise and all that kind of stuff, and I was watching what I ate, but I wasn't real careful, And so I went home and I Googled 30 carbs a day diet, and of course I brought up all the low carb stuff. And up until then, the only people I was listening to was Jason Fung. I found him on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I found Sarah Hallberg, and I would listen to those two as I walked the hiking trail. And then turns out I was on the wrong insulin, so we got that straightened out. And, and of course, and then I took the deep dive into everything carnivore and keto and all that, and all the major players, and been at it for 4 or 5 years. And now I've got pretty firm opinions about what I'm doing, okay?
Right.
And you can't listen to everybody. You only get so much time a day. But I have my number one resource. My number one faith is in Eric Westman. Older, calm, cool, collected. The guy could be totally wrong, and Eric will just lean back and go, well, he just believes the old paradigm, we got to kind of be nice to these people, and he has no room at all for anybody who believes in this cholesterol, heart disease crap. He has no room in his life for them at all.
Yeah, he's very even keel. Yeah.
Yeah, very, and my second, if I had to rank him, my second is probably Tony Hampton. He's but even Tony Hampton, he slides a little bit on that cholesterol thing. He starts talking about high density, low density, fluffy, and dense particles and AOB, but a whole bunch of BS. It's just extending the talk on something they have no proof of whatsoever, you know? So that's the only criticism I have of Tony. Tony's a great guy. And I'd have dinner with him anytime. But and if I ever, I'm thinking, what's the real root of this? What's the real what's behind this? I go to Ken Berry. Got 1,000 videos. They're all 10 minutes long, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And say you got a concern about gluconeogenesis. How's that work? Is that driving up my blood sugar? Well, just go to Ken Berry. He's got a 10-minute explanation.
He'll let you know.
He'll let you know, and I've only found Ken Berry right on non-medical things. I've only found him wrong on non-medical things. I've never found him wrong on anything medical. Okay? When he's in his wheelhouse, he's usually right. Or he'll go find out. He'll say, I don't know. I got to go look that up. I can't remember, or don't know.
Right.
And so he's, good place to start. And now, I got extremely serious last August, about 8 months ago, about being zero carb. I have now completed. So I went through Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, Valentine's Day, and now Easter. I went through a complete set of holidays, no carbs. Okay? Never done that before in my life. And, take a day off and eat whatever, and then just go back and not done that at all. So the most recent things, 6 weeks ago, I kind of went all Bernstein, okay? Because my body behaves as a type 1 diabetic. I'm allergic to almost I have some issue with almost every diabetic drug there is, okay? Twice I've been to the hospital for diabetic drugs. So, what do? You're on insulin. And my own personal belief is if you control your blood sugar, first of all, if you're eating carbs, you can't control your blood sugar with insulin. You can't keep up. You can't respond fast enough. You can't anticipate where your blood sugar is going, and you can't anticipate what the insulin's going to do, and you can't control it. You just can't.
Okay.
And Bernstein calls that the law of small numbers. And he's absolutely right. When you eat the meat and the fats, it's a slow rise, a slow mound. It's much easier to tackle a small hill than a mountain. And you could do much better. And I've done much better with it. And matter of fact, there's a group on Facebook. It's called Type 1 Diabetic Carnivore. About 3,000 of us. And Amy Fields Pippin? I can't remember the last name. Starts with a P. You know who I mean. She's in that group. I have recently joined her group. She has a coaching group she coaches. And I've learned more in that about, because I'm basically a type 1 diabetic, and I'll tell you, I don't know what so it was Monday. Had 7 blood draws, okay? They drew blood for 7 labs. And they did the C-peptide. I had the lowest C-peptide I ever had in my life. 0.15, which is basically type 1 diabetic. So the old pancreas, right, at that moment in time was not making any insulin, really. And I still got 3 lab tests waiting to come back They're weird things like one has to do something with zinc or something. And one I got back was some kind of antibody thing or something. I don't know. This is all really looking at MILADA, which is often called type 1.5 diabetes. After a long period of type 2, your pancreas slows down to a point where it's not doing anything, and you're basically operating as a type 1. So that's probably me for the rest of my life. I don't know. Who knows? 5 years from now, we may be having a carnivore conversation. Hey, guess what? This guy, Salvaterra, and wherever he's living at the moment, let's just say, he beat, his pancreas came back to life. And he still remains carnivore, but there are rumors he's been at the Pancake House. And we'd just like to do it once, you know. And sick as it would make me, but and that's kind of, you know, the future. You think about it. Most of the carnivores that we talk to have only been carnivore for 2, 3, 4 years. That's it. There's not a lot of people past that point. I would guess somewhere around 70-80% of us are in that category. You know, the Ricks and the Maggies are weird outlying data points that are not very many of them. And so think about it, 5 years from now, who knows what we might see in the world of carnivore, where people have stuck to carnivore and extremely low carb, and who knows what their healing may be. You know, that could be an interesting conversation. And then we got 5 years after that, when we got a lot of us have been out there carnivore for 10, 12 years. I think those could be exciting times. We don't know what the answer is going to be. But at any rate. So also I've been using the 2+ Libra 2+ CGM. And it's not, I've had issues with it, okay?
Okay.
So I talked to Libra a lot, and they're owned by Abbott Laboratories, and finally got to talk to a gentleman who was calm, cool, collected, and he said, you know, Paul, the 2+ may not be the right sensor for you. You may do better on a 3+. It's smaller, a little newer technology, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, I'm going to go see my endocrinologist here in a few days. I'll talk to him about that, and he agreed. And so just yesterday, I started in on the 3+ because my 2+ that I was wearing conked out 3 days early. So I'm 3 days ahead of schedule right now as far as the testing goes. And I'm doing some fairly high-level statistical analysis of the accuracy of my CGM. And we could talk about that a lot, but I don't want to lose people. But,
Okay.
you know, here's the thing. Everybody say, well, you got to understand that sensor's not measuring your blood. I understand it's not measuring my blood. It's measuring some intercellular fluid. But the thing is, you don't know what the algorithm, the app, you don't know what it's doing to the reading that it's getting from that little fiber is sticking down into your body. What's it doing to it? How is it coloring it? How is it adjusting it? You don't know. These things are calibrated in the factory. You cannot calibrate a Libra CGM. None of the Libra CGMs can be calibrated outside of the factory. Whereas the Dexcom G7, you can calibrate. And there's other CGMs out there that can be or have to be calibrated depending upon which one you're using. And I don't like the way that the government, the USDA, And this is all slanted to me, in my opinion. I apologize to the manufacturers if they think I'm being disrespectful, but there's a thing called the mean absolute relative difference, MARD. And that's the difference between what your CGM says on your phone or on your reader and a finger stick. Divided by the finger stick, but we take the absolute value of that. So if it's negative, we just make it a positive number. And they say, wow, if it's 20%, you're fine. It's accurate. Enough. Well, you can do the math yourself. And if you're really trying to tightly control your blood, I try to control my blood glucose. I try to average my blood glucose at 83. That's where I want my blood glucose every day, 83. Okay? And that means sometimes it's got to be below 83. We start going 20 points below 83, you're down to 63, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay there, but a lot of people aren't. You have low blood sugar issues, okay? And I don't know everything there is to know medically about low blood sugar, but there may be some risks to having low blood sugar over time. It may be an issue. I don't know. It's possible it could be. I don't know. I don't know everything there is to know. If I did, I don't agree with a lot of things in the world. Like I think that's about carnivores. We're kind of doubters, Wait a minute, you told me cholesterol was causing heart disease. Now it's not true, or you told me this, or you told me that, and so. But it is amazing.
Who do you believe, basically? Yeah.
Yeah. But I just saw a review of what's happening in the world of CGMs, continuous glucose monitors, on the worldwide market. Here's some amazing things. And there's money in all this, okay? Now, Abbott is a big medical supply corporation, okay? They make all kinds of stuff, okay? So if they lost all their CGM business, it would hurt them as a company, but they wouldn't be out of business, okay? A 30-day supply of the 2+ sensor is $160, okay, at Walmart. These are Walmart prices I'm quoting. The 3+ is $190. The G7 from Dexcom is $480. Both are about equally accurate, as reported by the FDA, but they're 3 times difference in price. And the G7 has more analytical capability and better alarm control and stuff like that, but give me a break. They're both essentially the same damn thing, and one's 3 times the cost of the other. If you're not careful how you choose your Medicare insurance plan, if your out-of-pocket cost is 20%, that's the difference between $32 and $96 between one company to the other company. Of course, if you chose the right plan, like I finally did, you have to know the right question to ask and make sure you get the right answer. And you may have to make 12 phone calls to make that decision. It's just part of, yeah. I mean, and so I made the wrong decision. I made the wrong choice this year. Okay, I had just changed back to my old plan because I knew what that was, and they hadn't changed it, and I knew I'd asked the question properly, and finally, and so now once a month I walk into Walmart, I go over, tell them here to pick up my sensors, and they hand them to me, and I leave. I don't pay nothing. I got no copay. For my particular Medicare supplemental insurance, I pay nothing. And you start talking $30 here or $60 there or $90 there, and you start adding that up every month. And before you know it, you're up into a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. And when you don't have a lot of income, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, no,
So,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know,
Yeah.
and so it's you know, it's rough and but the so I dusted off some of my statistics books from college. I started taking a look at this accuracy of the CGM, and so I'm now doing 2 finger sticks a day, testing it against my CGM and recording that data. Okay,
Okay.
and so I'm doing what I call as a distribution plot. So I'm not taking the absolute value. If it's plus or minus, I'm on either side of that vertical axis. And I'm finding my data points all piling up on one side of the axis mostly. So I can make a little transparency of a bell curve. I slide that across my data, and I'm looking for where all that data piles up. Where am I really, where, and then why am I there? And this is the last technical thing I'm going to say. So by updating my distribution, it's called a post-prior distribution, I can improve my predictability of how accurate my reading is. And this is what there's a European, they used to make pumps and CGMs, and now they're getting back into the CGM business. And they have a new predictive CGM. It predicts 3 hours ahead, 6 hours ahead, and 9 hours ahead where your blood sugar might be going.
All right.
So you're getting ready to go to bed. It looks at what insulin you've taken, what food you've eaten, and your past history over the last couple of days, and makes a prediction as to where your blood sugar is going to be all night long.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just a prediction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, so I think it's called My Sugar. It's an app you can download to your phone.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't have it, but I think I've heard of it.
Yeah.
That's something you can do. Yeah.
So I know my data from my CGM with Libra. It's up in the cloud, and I can authorize you to see it. Okay. So you could access my cloud and see my data.
Yep.
Or I can give it to my daughter. She could see when I go high or low. Dad, you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, I don't.
Yeah, you can actually have it where they can actually see your progress and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. When you go in the doctor's office, they automatically. I've signed over. My doctor can look at mine anytime he wants to.
Right. Like so, if you go, I mean, I don't think it's as bad to go as like I know the threshold is like 70 or something like that for a doctor to see, but I think it's okay to go lower than that. But I think there is a point to where you can go too low, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, like when my blood sugars went down to like 47, I think that was starting to get onto the which is why I kind of like would have the Oreo cookie or something like that to kind of bring it back up again. Rarely, but still happens, but but if the doctor can see like, hey, if you're that bad of a situation, then yeah, you want somebody maybe to so they can be like, okay, well, I might have to go to the house and check and see if he's okay and make sure that he's not on the floor or something, So
yeah. The current Medicare rules are, as far as will they or will they not cover a CGM.
Mm-hmm.
If you are taking insulin, you automatically qualify for a CGM, okay?
Yes.
It's people 65 and older on Medicare. And if you can demonstrate to your doctor, say you're not on insulin, and you say, doctor, I'm having 3 lows a month. Here's my finger stick, and I feel shaky, and I've checked my blood sugar, and 3 times in the last month I had a low blood sugar. If you got 2 or more low blood sugars in 6 months, you qualify for a CGM.
Mm-hmm.
And doctor can just say, yeah, he showed me his records. I believe him. Here's a prescription. Give him a CGM. The joke on the internet is Libra gives out replacement sensors like Tic Tacs. You just call up, I'm having trouble with this sensor. Okay, we'll send you a new one, you know.
Yeah.
Dexcom's not quite as
Dexcom, you
giving,
have to
but
pretty much give them like your next of kin, basically, and
yeah,
they're pretty. You know, like sometimes like a sensor will fail, but it'll fail like only 2 days before it was supposed to end, and I'll be like, okay, is it really worth, you know, doing? I know a few people will be like, no, you got to replace it every time, but thing is they only allow you three per year, basically, or something like that. It's like very low, so it's like okay,
yeah.
do I really want this one to be the one I call up and spend like an hour, 2 hours on the phone with? And that's if you're lucky,
Well,
you know. So
you know, I've studied a lot of things about CGMs, and I said, you know, I'm taking my finger and poking it all around the back of my arm where they want you to put it. And I said, I can't find a spot that they're talking about. I just don't have flab back there, okay?
right.
Unless I get right into my armpit, you know. And so I was in my endocrinologist's office. I'm just calling my endo, okay? When I say endo, I mean my endocrinologist.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, take your shirt off and turn around. So I did, and he goes, put your hands up over your head. And he says, I don't think that's the best place for a sensor for you. He says, you're just too toned up there, you know? And I said,
Which is a good
okay.
thing, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess, you know, I got good. That's carnivore diet because I don't exercise much, you know, and till Monday. And so I said, well, okay, you know, we do what we got to do, you know, and so my endo, at least in their office, okay, they all wear a CGM. A lot. They try different models, and you know, and so he showed me where his was, and I go, oh, it's yeah. He goes, don't worry about it. He says that's a good place for it. I go, okay. I don't want to say anything, get anybody in any kind of trouble or anything here, so we could just say my CGM is found a better has a new location.
Right.
But hey, oh, the one I'm wearing, this 3 Plus, is the smallest one on the market. There's none smaller. And I put this on just yesterday morning, early morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. And a couple times I was like reaching down, reaching to feel where it was. I couldn't find the damn thing. It's smaller than a dime, about the size of a dime. It's like having a dime stuck on your.
Yeah, mine's
maybe
probably a
two
little
dimes.
bit more like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
But you know what's funny is I might get in trouble with the ADA or whatever it is. But I don't put mine on my arm.
yeah,
I put mine on my thigh.
right.
You know, and the arm thing is really just in America. You know, in Europe,
It is. I don't know what they do in Europe to test their test and certify their things, but in America, most of the testing was done on the back of the arm. So that's the FDA approved position for it. Okay,
Right.
your doctor could write you a prescription called off label and say wear it on your tummy or wear it on your thigh. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
He could do that. I guess he could do that. I don't know all the rules, but
I'm guessing you're right. I'm guessing a doctor can, you know, kind of be like, well, he's a special case, like just like with you, you can't really put it under your arm, right, because of your situation. So obviously, your doctor could put, just like you just said, could write a script saying to them that, hey, he could put it on this, or you could do this, or you could do that. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't see why a doctor can't do that. But how many doctors would do that? You know what I'm trying to say?
Well, let me tell you the endo story here.
Okay.
I've been to this office twice. First
Mhm.
time we had 4 appointments in one year, and it was Rodrigo. He's the guy that told me about low carb, and I didn't know it, but he was pre-diabetic at the time, okay? And so now I'm seeing the new guy, and so anyhow, this new guy's talking to me, and he says, well, I got a colleague who's type 2 diabetic, and he's gone carnivore. I go, works right here in this office, huh? I says, is that Rodrigo? And he goes, you know Rodrigo? I go, yeah. He was my doctor. I said, you can look in the records. I saw him for a year. Oh, okay. So this endo office, I don't know how many people work there, but these guys are all very laid, and nurses, they're all very laid back, okay? Because one of their own is carnivore. Fighting diabetes. This is what they do all day long. You can't get better advertising, can you?
No, that's true. So, I figure we have a few. I started a few questions in the chats and statements and stuff. So,
Good.
I'm going to go through that real quick, if that's okay.
Sure.
Now, a couple people are asking a question that I don't know anything about what they're asking about. But Jemmet and I want to just combine their questions together. And Jason 916, which just joined us, so welcome, Jason. How you doing today? They're asking about. Well, here's Jemmet's question. She goes, and this is kind of funny in a way. If you look how the wording is, Paul, miss you on Carnivore Talk. So does Bob Hope. All well. Okay. So I don't know why Bob Hope misses you, but
No,
what are you going to do?
The guy who runs
Jason
that,
asks,
his name is
oh, sorry
Bobby.
about that.
He means I hope you're well.
Yes, I
Yeah.
know. But just, I don't know if maybe Jemmet maybe Juju doesn't even realize that there's a Bob Hope, an actual guy.
Oh, okay.
Paul, not sure if you touched on this. I am just getting in. How come you aren't on Monday Night Live anymore? Now, you don't have to say anything if you don't want to. I don't know how touchy the subject is, but I figure I don't want them thinking I didn't recognize the questions.
I take this stance, okay, that in the long term, people will realize I'm a good man and I'm an honorable man. I'm a very just man, okay? All right. And as my father said, brought me up, because if you don't have something good to say, keep your mouth shut.
Right.
Okay. It may take a year, it may take 2 years. I believe I will be the bigger man at the end. That's all I'm saying. I do not like to see anyone abused. You can abuse me all you want. Don't pick on the guy next to me, okay?
Right.
I won't stand for it. I'm just saying. That's just been me all my life, okay? I've done some stupid things in my life. I've stepped in front of a gun. I stepped in front of a fist. But I did so in believing that I was defending someone who needed to be defended. And kind of been my history all my life. And my father was, I come from a long line of great men, I believe. And my father, I think he was about 35, he's about 40, stole a truck full of food. Stole it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Took it downtown Syracuse to a high-rise, low-cost government housing and gave all the food away a couple days before Christmas. He got caught. The company he worked for. And he got hauled in the office, and they said, you're going to pay for all that. We're going to take it out of your check every week. My dad didn't. My dad was delivering milk door to door, okay? And so finally everybody left the office. Just the head honcho was there with my dad, and he says, next time you get this wild idea, he says, come talk to me first,
Yeah.
You got a job. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of this. It won't cost you a nickel. But next time you get an idea like this, come talk to me. Anyhow, so, you
All
know,
right, so let's
yeah, you know, somewhat of a difficult subject, but, you know, I just, you know, here's the thing in the carnivore world, okay? And in any world. Everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to get their 2 cents in. Everybody believes they're right. And you may be right for you, but you may not be right for everybody. It's just like we were talking about these sensors. The back of the arm may not be the best place for everybody, okay?
Right.
I believe in 5 years, you will go to the doctor's office. They will tell you where to put your sensor for the best result.
Right.
They'll use a I envision an ultrasound scanner scanning your body. And they're saying, right here's where you need to do it, right here.
Okay, so like each individual is different. So
yeah, you know, they find the best, they find the optimal site. This guy I talked to, I think he was more honest than he should have been to me from Libra. Because I might call Libra 10 times a day and say, and I just keep hoping to get to the right person, you know? And I said, he goes, well, he says, it's, you know, how you put the sensor into your body, that makes a difference too. If you don't hold that thing at a 90 angle, you know, the accuracy of it. And, you know, there's so many things that can go wrong and stuff, you know, and you know, and you know what all these companies live in fear of? What if anybody figures out how to, you know, you got the old thing you stick on the end of your finger, tells you your oxygen content of your blood and tells you your pulse. What if they come up with one of those that tells you your blood sugar and is accurate? By CGM. Now the Apple Watch, that gives me my blood sugar. It's perfect, and it's right. Those people just wound up without a job.
Yeah, it's true.
And we know what it is. It's all about the money. You know, it's all about the. If you take type 2 diabetes out of the world, out of the United States, all of a sudden, 1/3 of the people walk out of the hospital. They're not there no more.
No.
How many nursing jobs is that? How many doctors' jobs is that? Gone. Okay. How many foot doctors just see patients for diabetes? You know?
That's true. That's true.
It's just over and over and over. And diabetes right now is $1.7 billion every day. That's just type 2, pre-diabetes, type 2, and undiagnosed diabetes. $1.7 billion every day. Yeah. And what do we, you know, we'll go off on the pet peeve here, okay? Everybody talks about food pyramid and all that stuff. All this noise, just masking the whole thing. We're not teaching correct principles, okay? What should we be teaching kids in the 5, 6, 7, 8 years old? What are your metabolic markers that you need to be concerned about? What's your height? What's your waist to height ratio? Very important. What's your blood pressure? Very important. What's your blood sugar, or more important now that we know, what's your fasting insulin? Okay.
Yeah.
And what is your triglycerides and what is your HDL? Okay. Those are the main things. Okay. Blood pressure is a precursor to type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes. It's a precursor. Shows up first. Where does it show up second? You know where it shows up. ED. Okay. If you got ED, you're type 2 diabetic, or going to be shortly. Dr. Baker I don't know how old the interview was, but he was interviewing a patient. And this is, Sean Baker.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy told the story how he went to the doctor every year, and the doctor said, well, never said a thing about his blood sugar. His A1C was 5.7, 5.9, 6.1, finally hit 6.7. Oh, you're type 2 diabetic. Hadn't told him for 5-6 years.
Oh yeah, I've heard that so many times that that they never even say, because you think about it, doctors, their threshold's totally different. So even if you are, they're like, oh well, it's not so bad. You're like they give you the you shouldn't have to worry type thing, and then meanwhile it's getting worse and worse, and they don't warn you. Yeah, so I've heard that story many times on Carnivore. I've heard that story just in life. Just people around me that are like, oh, my doctor said I had this, and I'm like, you do realize it's diabetes, right? You're like, oh, well, he said it's not so. He said, yeah, I'm diabetic, but he said I'm not so bad. Like, if you're diabetic, you're bad. There's no sugarcoating that. Like my roommate, when I had him, he was like, yeah, my sugars are 7.1, my A1C is 7.1. And I'm like, you do know that's, and I actually explained to him what the levels are. And I said to him, I said, now, does that sound like would you want to be type 2 diabetic? He's like, no, why would I want to be type 2 diabetic? Well, like, your doctor told you that it was okay to be 7.1 and you're type 2 diabetic. And he's, but this is how some doctors are. They just, because they don't want you to be worried. Like, oh, well, we don't want you to panic. We don't need to get worried. Well, lying to us is not going to help us either. And just it's a little food for thought,
Exactly. And and I obviously I watch a lot of stuff in the diabetic community, in our carnivore community, and you'll see somebody come on and they'll say, well, my insulin resistance is doing really well. Well, I don't know what meter they're using. Okay, there's no meter for insulin resistance. There's no IR meter. Okay, it does not exist in science.
No.
But somebody invented one last night, and I haven't heard about it yet. Okay.
No, unfortunately, there isn't.
Or somebody says, well, my ketones say this and my blood sugar says this, so I'm doing wonderful. That's a totally unproven thing too. Okay. It's a line of thought that some doctors have. Okay. But your level of ketosis in your body will change on your carnivore journey. Yeah, when you first start out carnivore, okay, you're making ketones to beat hell, okay? But it slows down as you get into your journey. And I've never measured ketones. I measure one thing, my blood glucose. All I measure, okay? Yeah, I do my periodic labs, and we look at those, but on a day-to-day basis, the only thing I measure, I don't count calories, okay? I don't count grams of fat or grams of protein. I don't count any of that. But also, been at this a while, I don't think I overeat in any big way either. I eat a lot less than a lot of people. And, I eat very thick bacon, so I eat 2 strips, which could be as much as 4 ounces of bacon before it's cooked, okay? I don't cook my bacon real crisp. It's kind of fluffy, as one person describes it. I have fluffy bacon. As opposed to limp bacon, I guess. I don't know. And I have 3 to 4 eggs, depending upon how I'm feeling right at that moment, okay? And I cook my eggs in butter or bacon grease, depending upon what my planning is for my bacon grease. And then I move on to anywhere from 8 to 10 ounces of beef and about the same amount of chicken, usually in the form of a chicken thigh. Okay. And that's my food for the day. And I drink plenty of black coffee. Kind of what I do, and it's, you know, and I feel fine, and some weight, you know, there's a lot to, you know, when you're a type 1 diabetic, there's a lot of things to worry about. There's a lot of stuff. You're constantly chasing that blood glucose. And heaven forbid if you're eating carbs. Oh my God, you got the impossible task. Okay? It'd be downright depressing and discouraging to do that. And, you know, the low carb or no carb method is the way for a type 1 diabetic, okay? Particularly a child.
Right.
You know, I think it's pronounced Dikeman, Dikeman. First name Dave. His father.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. He's 19 years old. He was kind of with Bernstein, and Bernstein was in his 80s, right? But he's now in med school in Texas. And within 2 months of being diagnosed at age 9 and being diagnosed type 1 diabetic, within 2 months he was on a low carb diet. He was on the Bernstein program, 30 carbs a day.
Okay.
And those 30 carbs are for an adult, not a child.
Right. Okay. So Gemma just reminded me that she had a question. I already knew the question. I just haven't put it up yet there, Gemma. So Gemma asked, and then she made a statement as well. But Gemma's asking, Paul and Thomas, do those medications help? And why everyone on a GLP-1? If it helps diabetics, what is the downside? Read lots of side effects. Well, to me, the side effect was the stomach issues. Don't think that if I didn't have the stomach issues that I would not have tried if it helped my diabetes. But unfortunately, it made me get back my gastroparesis, and I was throwing up every morning, every night. Yep. And that's the issue I had with it.
I also have experience in that.
Yeah, when I looked it up, that's like the number one issue that you can have with. But am I totally against it?
Yeah.
No, if it helps, then that's great. You know, I know a lot of people that were on it. I know a lot of people that are being helped by it. You know, my friend Adrienne Glenhill, which is actually helps me with this whole channel thing. So she does it. She's a very big component. And Lewis, my friend Louis Latito, used to. You know, be on it. He was very strong on it as well. There's a few people that are very strong on it, and there's people against it. I'm middle of the road.
Yeah, the real crux of the matter is it's in the dose. The dose for GLP-1 for diabetics is extremely small. Okay.
Yeah.
And for weight loss, it's much more massive. Okay. And I was on Trulicity and I was on Ozempic, and I was on what was called the introductory dose. And I could be wrong about this. I don't have any record. I threw all that stuff out, but I think it was on 1/4 gram a week, 1/4 gram. It was called an introductory dose. You take that for 1 week, that introduction kit. I told the doctor, I said, you know, it kind of takes the edge off my appetite. You know, I don't want to eat so much, you know. So can I just stay at the introductory? So yeah, so he kept me at the introductory dose. And he was not a medical doctor; he was a physician's assistant. Okay, and I thought he was pretty smart. Okay. So anyhow, he wound up in an argument with 3 medical doctors, and they overruled him. They said take him up a dose, go to 1/4. So he doubled my dose. Again, a very small introductory dose. Doubled my dose, put me in the hospital. I had no desire to eat whatsoever. I almost couldn't swallow a bite of food. I had no desire to eat whatsoever. So I went to the hospital. I didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. You know, I was scared. And they said, I said, I'll tough it out. I'll do without it. But when you inject that drug, it has a long half time. It takes a couple of weeks for that stuff to clear your body. You ain't like you just stop taking a pill and 12 hours later it's gone. It ain't that way with that stuff. And I had a similar experience with, they tried me on that, starts with a J, Jardius or something.
A Jardian, yeah.
And that's a SGLT2. And that's the one where they got the slightly overweight people laughing and
They're like all
jiggling and
dancing in the street and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, dancing in the street. Yeah, baby. So I so after about 3 weeks of that, a little less than 3 weeks, I went into my doctor's office kind of like on an emergency run, and I said, I don't feel good, man. And I read all the symptoms on Google, and the doctor said, I think you need to go home and have a glass of water. I think you're dehydrated. What I had was, and I had diagnosed it properly myself, I had low blood sugar ketoacidosis. So ketones are building up in my blood despite having normal blood sugar, okay? And so I was not feeling good that night. It was Thursday night. So I had my own patient portal. I found this, I went in, I found this appointment for 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. So I made an appointment with it. Turned out to be the best doctor I ever had for a long time. And he goes, Paul, he says, here's my recommended plan. Go to the emergency room. They'll draw your blood immediately and test it. Within a half an hour, they'll know what's wrong with you. Meanwhile, you're going to be sitting there in urgent care or whatever they call it, and they'll have you on an IV. And if you need whatever, they'll just come over and give it to you. I was out of the hospital in 30 hours. I was fixed. And I had exactly what I said I had. Low blood sugar ketoacidosis. It's an actual medical term.
Yeah.
And so the ketones are building up in your blood, dangerously levels, just like you were blowing blood sugar 800 all day long. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And it can kill you. It can kill you.
Mm-hmm.
It can kill. And, so in my opinion, the problem with a lot of drugs today is they push them through too fast on the regular in approving them. They don't do enough testing. Just too fast.
Well, I mean, not only that, but it seems to me too like doctors are too quick to not only prescribe drugs that you have, but they're also too quick to prescribe drugs without checking to see what exactly side effects are to the drugs you already have been prescribed. So it's like because there's a lot of cross contamination that happens. And doctors they're just like, oh, well, no, you're fine. And it's like, well, are we sure we're fine?
Lie. Very little. If you go in and ask any AI thing or Google thing, and ask how much research is done about drug interferences, okay? It's only with the most extremely popular drugs, most consumed drugs, and usually never beyond 3 different drugs at once. Usually they just check 2 drugs. Do they interfere with each other if you take them simultaneously? And very little research is done into that. And, to be drug-free, see, here's the thing, and Amy Fields Perrin, she's been diabetic since she was 16, and she's my age, okay?
Right.
She's a little older. She may be a year older than me. She's 70-ish, right? So she's got a lot of experience in this. And I've learned so much from her in the last 2 weeks. And she, when it comes to like insulins and stuff, like I can get along on 2 different insulins, okay? Let's call that a short-acting insulin, which is type R, which I can go to Walmart and buy without a prescription, okay? U100 insulin, no prescription needed. Just walk in and buy it. $25 a vial, $24.88, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I can buy the next, you go down in longer acting insulin, intermediate insulin called Novolin N. I can buy that at Walmart too, no prescription needed. And I can survive on those two insulins, okay? I've done an experiment for the last couple of weeks and I've done it, okay? So I don't even like paying the $25, you know? I just, and, you know, to show you how screwed up the world is. You go on Google, any search engine, any AI thing, and ask, how am I supposed to store my insulin? And you're going to get two distinct different stories. Two distinct different stories.
Yeah.
And we just had this discussion in our group Thursday night. And I said, what are you all doing? I said, I'm not sure what to do, you know? And Amy told me why and how she does what she does. I go, that makes a lot of sense. I understand it, you know? And I live in Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania is a great place if you're older because we take all the money from our lottery and we give it to the old people. Yep. So we have a thing here called PACE.
Okay.
So unless you're making a lot of money over the ages, it's only for people 65 and older. It's only for prescription drugs, okay? So your CGM don't count, but your insulin counts and all that. So for the high grade Lantus long acting insulin, my monthly prescription is $15. That's the most I can pay is $15. And that's because I'm in Pennsylvania. They pay the difference from the 35 down to the 15.
Okay, that's not so bad.
Now in New Jersey, where you are, if I was living there, that insulin would cost me $35.
Right.
Okay. Because that's a federal law. You know. And but you know, and so I talk, you know, I don't have a YouTube channel. And this is something I kind of want to explore with the whole group here. You know, a lot of people have gone out and got these coaching certifications, and some are really actively trying to be coaches to make a business out of it. And I think that's great. And I wish I had a coach 5 years ago that could have guided me along, you know, helped me somehow. I don't know if I could have been, I probably wouldn't even come in contact with anybody that could, how do you get to the customer, you know? And, you know, Dr. Eric Westman uses coaches kind of, they're nurses, but they're kind of like coaches. So, you know, you go into his doctor's office to see Dr. Westman and, you know, somebody's checking your blood pressure, your height, your weight, and all that kind of stuff. Then they give you a video. Nurse says, here, watch this video, pay close attention. And they come in and talk to you about it a little bit. And they show you another 5-10 minute video. They come in, talk to you about it a little bit, give you a paper and pencil and say, now here, fill out this. We want to know what you ate the last 24 hours, okay? Fill this out. And that's the first thing Dr. Westman looks at when he goes in. What have you been eating, okay? He's only got 10 minutes, and he's done with you, okay? And he's basically got the offer, okay? You want to do prescription strength keto? That's what we got here. If not, I can send you to a doctor who can cut you open, you know, staple you shut, whatever, or go give you some drugs someplace, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's your choice, you know, but that's what we got to offer here. And you know, I don't think you got to be a nurse to do what those people are doing, but it sure be nice to have those coaching tips, you know. And, you know, where do we really need coaches? You would think there'd be a school program, you know. I would love for my 5th grade grandson, have a coach come in, talk about what are the main metabolic factors in your life.
Yeah.
Okay? Get exposed to this stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we put a man on the moon. 55 years ago, we put a man on the moon and brought him back. 6 times. 12 men walked on the moon.
Right.
3 are still alive today. Look at what we did. And we don't have a highly reliable CGM. We don't have it, okay? We can't stop. We cannot stop type 2 diabetes. We cannot stop it. Okay? You know, here's an interesting thought. Think about this. Our universe, talking about every galaxy out there, okay, every planet out there, we're 13.8 billion years old, okay? And guess what? Earthlings, you and me, the miracle, we're late to the party. There's probably many species that went extinct before us, okay? We may be the last life form in the universe. And what are we doing? We're destroying our planet. We got plastic, microplastics everywhere. We got crap that doesn't belong. We're disposing of stuff where it doesn't belong. You know what's the carnivore's contribution to that? He put less poop into the sewer. Okay? And, you know, we're now looking at our farming practices. We're not looking at anything. Now, seriously, not the way it really counts. It's all politics and it's all money.
Right.
And it's, you know, everybody talks about RFK Jr. I met his father personally, up close and personal. I was 11. It's 1967. It's the New York State Fairgrounds, August 29th, 5:44 p.m. That's how well I remember. He came walking up the path. He was there giving a talk. And he had a suit coat over his arm, great big clipboard or something on his notebook on his arm, signing everything everybody put in front of him. He stopped right in front of me. Remember my elementary school manners? I introduced him to my mother. My mother's, I go, Mom, this is your hero. This is the idol you worship. You know?
Wow.
She's going to slap me. And we talked for like 3-4 minutes, you know? Next June, late May, early June, he was shot down dead by Sirhan Sirhan in L.A. No presidency for Bobby Jr., okay?
No.
And so, you know, I think, you know, Kennedy's kind of got the right idea, but half his ideas I think are really good, and the other half I think are not so good.
Well,
He's
that's not
expending-
the way life is, yeah. Yeah, you're not going to always agree with everybody. So
his energy's all over the place, and I think maybe we need a more focused approach. And you know, you remember the food groups, right? And I learned the food groups when I was in first grade. There was dairy, there was grains, there was vegetables and fruits and meat. You know, protein. And so I got a little extra announcement to make, okay? We've got, I don't know what I did here. Anyhow, on these CGMs that we're giving out here today, I don't have 2, but I have 4. So we'll be giving out 2 sets, okay? So it'll be 2 winners today.
we can do 2 winners.
When I checked my inventory, I was a little shocked.
Okay.
When I checked my inventory, I was a little shocked, okay? I didn't realize I had so many, okay? And if Abbott's listening or watching, okay? And but I do here, let me just make a recommendation. If you win one of these, you should go to Walmart, spend the $9, and get you a Premier finger sticker, okay? test strips are about $10. It's going to cost you about $9. Then you can do a finger stick at home. Get a little, if you don't have one, get the lancets and get the lancet injector so you can prick your finger. And so then you could check your CGM to your, this is highly accurate, highly accurate. Okay. This is like going and having your blood drawn by the laboratory. Okay. LabCorp or whatever the other one is. All right. Then you'll know how close your CGM is. And so CGM may be brand new to you. You may have to go online and read about it. And the first day or two, it's going to look like, when you look at the graph on your phone, it's going to look like the zigzag sewing machine.
Right.
I will include a little short note into each package that I ship out. It will tell you what app I recommend that you download onto your phone, okay? I'll give you the specific app to download. Libre has a very general app. And now Libre has even a new app, and I won't say much about it because I don't understand it yet. But it's got some new features, and I'm not sure exactly what those features are. I just heard about it today. But so God bless the parents of anybody who has a kid who has type 1 diabetes. God bless the kids or the parents. God bless you. You got your work cut out for you. Just saying. That Dykeman, his father, when his 9-year-old son was diabetic, type 1, he said, I can't eat carbs. If he can't have them, how can I eat them?
Right.
Whole family,
you need to
went low
support,
carb.
you need to support them. Yeah.
Yeah, whole family went low carb. The mother lost 35 pounds. Dad lost 45 pounds the first year. And his mother was very dedicated to making him, the sugar-free cupcakes or whatever, treats, Can't figure 9 years old, you've already had all that crap,
Yeah.
You're gonna miss it. But he turned his parents on to Bernstein. He said, well, they're trying to, you got to calculate how much insulin you got to take to match your carbs that you're taking in down your throat.
Right. Well, it's a vicious circle.
Yeah, exactly. And he says, what about less carbs? So his mother Googled less carbs, type 1 diabetes. And she found Bernstein, ordered the book.
Yep.
And his father's some kind of scientist or something. I'm not sure what his father really does. Some kind of science guy. And could be a nuclear physicist for all I know, but he really took the science to heart, and within 2 months, 1 month after they got the book, they were on the Bernstein program, and that's the way they stayed.
Okay. So I just want to do a couple shout outs real quick. So Feral Grandma, Wendy, thank you, Wendy, for the super chat. Just the $2. And earlier before, I didn't, because it wasn't actually put into the thing, but Gary No Slow bought me a coffee, and so did Princess Ma. So thank you both of you for the coffees. I will drink them slow and enjoy them incredibly. And everything. So that's actually pretty cool. You're going to be doing, so we're going to actually do 2 winners today. So as soon as you win, but we'll be fair. What we'll probably do is whoever wins, we'll probably take their name off, and then we'll do another one for another winner. I think that would be the fairest thing to do. So that's a pretty good offer there, Paul. And we'll go from there. And if you do win, I'm going to put in the chats. I want you to email me. All right. Now, if you have my email, I will email you, like if I have your email because of whatever reason, there's a few people here that I have your emails. If I have your email already, I'll send you Paul's information that you can actually send, and we'll go from there. But basically just email me your address. And and then I'm going to email it to Paul, and Paul will mail you the CGM. Just as easy as that.
You'll be getting 2 of these. Each person gets 2.
Each person will
Okay.
get 2. Yep.
Yep.
And how long does each one? How long does each one last?
We have the long-lasting 15-day model here.
Excellent, excellent. So that's 30 days. That's 1 month of looking at your blood sugars and seeing a constant look at it, not just having to prick your fingers and everything like that. And even if you're not diabetic, but you're just curious, why not? It's great.
You could do experiments. You could get a real Coke.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, how many people can say that? Most of the time when you go to your doctor, if you're not diabetic, but you just want to know where your sugars are, and just like see where things are going and everything, a lot of doctors will be like, oh, no, you can't do that. You have to be diabetic. Well, this is one time where you can actually do it without having to worry about paying out of pocket or anything. So, take advantage. So I'm going to wait just a little bit. I've been saying it in the chats, #Riblets, and just, I don't care how it's spelled. I don't care if it's a capital. I don't care what. I just want to see you say #Riblets. I will put your name into the wheel, and in about 15 minutes, we are going to spin it and see where we're at. Okay. So I will wait 15 minutes for more people to say #Riblets.
Yeah. And you could, if you get 2 of these, you could use one, and a friend or family member or somebody you love could use the other one. Just 2 weeks, if it doesn't fail, there's always a possibility things can fail. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so those things can happen, but you got 2, and you can learn a lot. I'm shocked. It doesn't take very many carbohydrates for me to really run it up. Doesn't take much at all. And it is what it is. And thank God I like steak, and I like beef, and I like eggs and bacon, and there's alternatives. It's not a death sentence or anything.
Yeah, and Paul, I'm not supposed to be eating anymore, so please do not. Please stop trying to make me hungry. Okay. So.
Okay.
I'm just joking with you. You can talk about eggs and bacon all you want.
I tell you, I bought one of those. I'll tell you a really cool thing. And this is something I never heard before. But what's the safest egg to order in a restaurant?
I don't know.
Soft boiled. Never comes in contact with any butter or grease. Soft boiled egg. It's in the shell.
That's true.
How
about hard boiled egg? Are they safe too?
What's that?
How about hard boiled egg?
Same thing. Yeah. I bought one of these El Cheapo Depot egg cookers.
Okay.
It does 7 eggs. And once you get the right, it goes on based on the amount of water you add to it. Okay. So you add enough water, you get a hard boiled egg. You add a little less, you get a soft boiled egg. Okay. Makes beautiful soft boiled eggs every time. And they're so easy to peel. And, it's in it, I just got a little cup and I got a mark on it. That much water, pour it in, forget it. Automatically goes off when the water goes out, and it's all steamed out, all done. Perfect soft-boiled egg. Forgot how much I love those things.
Okay, so Jerry's asking, well, she's saying twice, riblet, or riblet. Now everybody knows that I'm called riblets. All right, so as long as you say, if you say riblet, I'll count it. If you say rib fur, no, I'm not going to count it. That's not riblet. We are riblets. And that's basically what it is. So you're definitely correct if you say riblets. So So Jerry, just put in hashtag riblets. I will give you credit for it. RIBLETS. But if you don't put the S on there, I won't hold it against you. I know you're still trying, so don't worry about that. Because I have to actually I have to go into, in order to put on the wheel, I have to copy and paste it from. That's why if I look to you guys like I'm like in another world, it's because I'm going into another tab and copying and pasting from YouTube onto the wheel. I can't copy and paste here from StreamYard. So just put it in there. I want you guys to get the chance to win. And then Leanne, a CGM stands for continuous glucose monitor. So it actually checks the blood sugars in your body to see where they're at and see how you're doing, basically. And a lot of times they can actually give you numbers. If you have it long enough, you can get numbers for up to 90 day, your 90-day numbers and stuff like that. So I actually use it, and I'll be honest with you. Right now my sugars are a little high, but they were very high today. So I had some kind of issue today, made them super high. So that's a different story. But if you look, I'm going to show, okay, this is not the same meter that Paul has. This is actually, oh God, no, I forget. A Dexcom.
Your G7, right?
The G7, right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go into reports, and I'm going to go to 90 days. And right now it's saying that for my 90-day report, it's at 6.4 is the average. Now, I wouldn't, like, when you get your A1C tested, your 90-day A1C, I wouldn't go and be like, okay, it's going to definitely be 6.4. It could be 6.5. It could be 6.3. There is it's like a seesaw, basically. And well, like I said, Leanne, even if you don't need it, is there a person in your family that could use it? Or is a person, like a friend, that is just curious, has gone to you and said, you know what, I'm not diabetic, but I like to know because I like to lose weight and I like to see where my sugars are. And two, if you don't have anybody and you don't think you need it, then you could be like, hey, you know what? I want to give it to such and such here. And that'd be fine too. That'd be okay too. So let me go over because Jerry, so I'm going to copy and paste Jerry's. And Bacon Runner, I have you already, so you're good.
Bacon Runner could put one on her husband, so we can see what kind of shape he's in.
Yeah,
we hear him, but we never see him.
That might be what Bacon Runner's thought process is.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah,
I like Bacon Runner. Don't you say anything bad about her, or else.
I don't. Donna Ray is a. You know why I like Donna Ray? Because she's a ray of sunshine. And
I think I saw her on. I'm not an expert at Facebook. I really don't know how to use it that well.
Okay.
But I'm on some groups on there, and I sometimes get lost, And I could swear I saw a photograph of Donna Ray running towards a grill with a steak on it. Now, maybe it wasn't her, but it was close, okay?
I would not doubt it.
She's quite the runner, let me tell you. You don't want to... I can't do what she does.
Well, I mean, she still hasn't run yet to give me my bacon, but, that's...
Oh, boy. You better watch out, Thomas. I tell you what, if she got you down on the ground, even though she's probably 105 pounds, she'd probably put a world of hurt
she could
on
probably
you.
kill me. I know. But it's an ongoing joke, so I don't think she will.
Oh, by the way, in case anybody's interested, I know Donna Ray was interested anyhow. So Friday night, last night, I guess, I gave out my son's bib number for my youngest son. This is not the amputee. This is just my youngest son. He's 6'4", 190 pounds. And he's running the Boston Marathon for a second year in a row. And he's at starting position, I think 4,600. He's in 4,600 position to start. And last year he finished about 2012, I think. He passed 2,400 people last year. Or 2,600 people he passed last year. So that's on the 20th, but Donna Ray's into all that stuff. She's going to put him on her tracker and see when he goes through the signal things. And they all have a sensor in their shoelace or whatever, tells them, identifies them. I'll tell you a funny story about that boy. He was like 22, 23 years old. He went out west to Utah for one of the nation's most competitive, rigorous triathlons, okay? And they had 6-foot waves in the reservoir where they were doing the swim. Of 2,000 men who went into the water, only 1,000 came out. 1,000 people had to be rescued by boats. And and he was at you cycle for 112 miles or something? I think it's 112 miles you ride your bike. He was at mile marker 109 and they pulled him off the course because he was 1 minute slow. So he never ran the marathon that day. But he was in some small town in Utah. Look at that. Oh, boy.
All right. So you guys ready?
Yeah,
So we're
quite a
going to
few
spin
names
the
on
wheel.
Yeah.
And we're going to reveal who the first winner is going to be for CGM. Oh, actually, okay. Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. Sorry, guys. I got to be fair.
What's happening?
We got somebody that just entered.
Oh.
So I got to do my copy and pasting. All right. And
You got a lot of people on that wheel.
Yep.
Hey.
Pretty exciting, huh?
Just think of this as NASCAR. You're the calm, cool announcer, okay? And I'm the excited fan, okay? Oh my God,
All right. That's okay, Tammy. And just before we go, Tammy is going to be on my show this Wednesday. So,
cool.
Tammy has a great story to tell. She's already been on with Carrie Mann, and I think she's been on a couple others too. So, but Carrie Mann's the most important to me. So I'm just kidding. I'm sure once I figure out who it is, just in case it was Amy or something like that, I don't want Amy to think I don't think she's important. So, are you guys ready for the and if you guys didn't enter it in and before this, we're going to do a second drawing in about 15 minutes or so. And so if you want to put in again, that's fine. But just to be fair, we are going to take out that name that won. But if somebody didn't put it in yet and you want to do, that's fine too. All right. So without further ado, let me go over to, because I can't see you guys, but I'm going to spin the wheel and good luck. All right. Oh, just tell me when
the
to stop.
Anticipation.
It stops by itself. Okay. All right, Ricky Lee Carnivore. Congratulations, Ricky Lee. So Ricky Lee, let me just take this off the screen. All right, so Ricky Lee, congratulations. Just email me at tpruitt40@gmail.com and just let me know where, your address and all that stuff, all that fun stuff, and I will forward it over to Paul. And then from there, Paul will send you the CGMs. Simple as that. Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So we're going to actually spin the wheel again. Right now it's 5:40. So in about 15 minutes or so, we'll do another spin. So again, if anybody does that didn't do it the first time, that wants to come in and be put on the wheel, we can do that for the second one. That's not a problem. So, and Ricky Lee, it looks like you're getting a lot of love and a lot of people congratulating you. So cool. And thank you, Janet, for complimenting the wheel. You know, I don't know if you guys here is back on stage again. I think you guys noticed the symbol I put in the middle there. That is compliments of Aaron Booby Goats. So thank you, Aaron, for that design. And if you want, you could actually purchase that design on in my shop for the t-shirts, cups, aprons, whatever you want, hats, whatever. So check out my on Bonfire. Check out my store that have different items. So, and I got your riblets, Tammy. You were actually on the wheel already. I added you in, so you're good. So who knows? Maybe you'll be the second person to win. And if you are, it'll be something for us to talk about, Tammy, on Wednesday.
And depending upon how things go in the future, if I stay converted over to the 3, I have more goodies we can raffle off sometime. What I sincerely hope is about July 15th, I will have a full report of by August 1st of 8 sensors statistically evaluated, and maybe some new insights on what really happens on a CGM under a different scrutiny than the FDA provides. And when you're diabetic, you really want to know where the hell you are without having to give a drop of blood every time.
Yeah. Okay, so you do a CGM, I do a CGM. I'm just going to add, we just got one other entry, so I'm going to add that person in. All right. I'm going to take, okay, good, okay. So sorry about that. As soon as somebody puts in hashtag riblets, I go right into the thing. So John Together Strong just put his name in and so did Grandma just now. Just put her name in for CGM.
Which grandma's that?
What's Grandma? What was that?
Which grandma is that?
Crochet Grandma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We got grandmas and Johns and everything else running around. If I had a channel, you know what I call myself?
I accidentally spinned it, so no one won.
You did?
Yeah, but no one won. Don't worry. I was just trying to get the clicks in. All right. Uncle Charlie. Let's get Uncle Charlie in there.
Uncle Charlie.
Yeah.
My 3 sons.
I always think of that too when I think of Uncle Charlie, and I don't know if Uncle Charlie realizes of that, but
he could be too young. I don't know.
Yeah, someone tells me that he's okay. Well, out of the 3 sons, did you like Uncle Charlie or Grandpa Bud better? I personally liked Uncle Charlie. I heard stories about Uncle Bud, about Grandpa, in the real life, because he was also the Fred from I Love Lucy. So,
do you know what Lucy's famous for in the world of Star Trek?
The studio.
She financed it. Yeah.
That's in Blue Studios. Yep.
I didn't know that till recently.
Yeah, if you ever look at the old Star Trek, you'll see like Desilu Studios at the end of all the production. Yeah. No,
I probably did, but I never put 2 and 2 together. You know.
Yeah. So
I met Shatner when I was in college.
Yeah, I never met Shatner, but my mom's friend, her aunt's like nephew or something like that, actually worked for William Shatner. You know, and he said he's sort of pompous, but I'm like, yeah, but look who he is. I mean, come on, you know. I mean, you know, like
I
I'd be
saw
more
him
shocked.
in.
I'd be more shocked if he wasn't, you know. And there
I
was a
saw him
time
in
where he did have an
70s.
attitude.
Yeah.
He's better now than he was, but there was a time where he was like sort of like his crap didn't stink, you know.
Well, he got the hell beat out of him in Toronto, you know, in
Yeah,
'76.
something happened to him that
He thought he was James T. Kirk, and he went in to bust up. So there was a mugging going on. He went in to break it up, and he got the bigwigs pounded out of him.
right. Right. Well, I remember one time I went to a convention. I know you guys are going to learn that I'm a nerd, but I went to a Star Trek convention, and it was supposed to be he was supposed to be there. There was a couple other people too that were there, but he was supposed to be there, and we found out later on that he canceled because he's like, well, you know, like pretty much like he pretty much acted like who cares that he's disappointing his fans. You know, and I just like we all spent money to go there. It was like at that time it wasn't that much. Now it's like
Yeah.
at that time it was like $70 or something like that. But still, the principle is still there.
Oh, yeah.
But we end up meeting Tim Russ, which is Tuvok from Voyager, and then we also met Renee Auberjonois, which was Odo from Deep Space Nine. You know, the changeling, the shapeshifter.
Yeah.
From
Oh,
Deep Space Nine.
yeah.
I met him, and he was also on Benson too. He played
Well,
he played Kramer, whatever his name was in Benson, and then one person from Babylon 5, the lady from Babylon 5. So we met a few people, and then I met Marina
Wow.
Sirtis too once. So yeah, so you know, I'm more into Marvel and stuff like that, but you know, it's easier to get into Star Trek conventions than it really is to get into. To me, it's like less expensive, but now things are different. Now things are, you know, now it's like $500 just to be able to even get a signed copy with them and stuff like that. It's just ridiculous. But you know, like you know, so. Jem, it says, Thomas, I need nerd in my life. LOL, quote from a movie. What movie was that from, Jem? Juju? No, excuse me. So we do have a few people. Obviously, Grandma joined us. Obviously, Uncle Charlie joined us. Nightbot's been here the whole time, so I'm not going to. Oh, we got a question. So, okay, I didn't even read the question. I'm sorry about that, Paul. So, Paul, when are you going to come back? Uncle Charlie's been asking the whole time about you and being on Carnivore Talk. He pretty much is saying that he misses you and that he really love you to be back because he values you being there and stuff like that, which is pretty nice to say, you know. But Gemmett's going to Jem says Kate Winslet said it in The Holiday. So okay. We all need nerds in our lives, basically, is what Kate Winslet said. And Tammy is saying it's a very nice giveaway. It is. It is. I mean, it's not just any old T-shirt, right? $80
$80 at Walmart a piece. So that's a $160 gift.
Yeah.
If you had to go buy it. But I have heard if you are a member of Costco, you can, if you got the prescription with your membership, you can get these for $30 a piece at Costco.
Right.
That's what I've heard. I've never had to do it. If you don't have a Costco membership, they're $60 a piece. That's what I've heard on the internet, on Facebook, and places like that. But those things are not always reliable. and those places are not always friendly. You know,
No,
I've
you're
not
absolutely right.
seen it, but I've had people tell me that when they go on to a type 1 diabetic Facebook site and talk about, carnivore or low carb, they're asked to be quiet and leave.
Right.
Don't bring that subject up. What are we afraid of?
Mm.
I don't know.
Wasn't it always the question? Like, what are we afraid? So let me just check my Instagram real quick. Oh, I didn't mean to switch with you. Sorry about that. Sometimes these panels just move around. Like, there we go. Okay. All right. So not really too many people on Instagram. That's fine though. Instagram's sort of hit or miss, and the only reason we weren't on Facebook is because I found out that in order to be streamed, you have to be on a Facebook page, and Facebook's not approving my page yet. But I do want to thank all you guys that have actually joined my Facebook page, and that I really do appreciate that. So you just if anybody else wants to join, just join. From Facebook. It's Riblets United, and and then once we can actually watch this on Facebook from the page once Facebook does whatever crap they want to do to approve it. So I'm going to put another person in. So we just got Constant Siata is actually just put hashtag Riblets. So let's add her to the wheel of opportunity. All right, Constance, you're now been put in. So thank you for that. So Uncle Charlie is he's been asking a lot of questions again about the carnivore talk and all that stuff. So Uncle Charlie, I haven't really posted it because he doesn't, Paul really doesn't want to talk about it too much. And I don't, that's something with him, that's something with Paul. So I just want to, but we have to be fair. Uncle Charlie did come in late. So he probably didn't see the comment, of you saying it's, he wants to take, I'm sure they will hash it out, and everything. So Uncle Charlie did just ask a new question. So Uncle Charlie, when is Kiltz going to be on your show? Unfortunately, Uncle Charlie, Kiltz had to cancel. So he did not just have to cancel with me though, so I don't feel bad. I'm not taking it personally. He had pretty much everybody in that era. Yeah, pretty much everybody that he had an appointment with, he had to cancel with. I mean, we got to realize Kiltz is a busy man. We don't think about it, but I always make the joke that he's cloned himself because he seems to be everywhere, and I think he pulls himself like in all strings. And I think Alia does the same thing. So you got all, but I was able to get a great guest for this. He was supposed to be on the 22nd of April, which is pretty much coming up, not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
So the guest that we're going to have is Butter Bob. So Bob Briggs is going to be the guest for that Wednesday for the 22nd. So, and then my next guest for this Wednesday coming up is going to be, I'm sorry if I butcher the name, it's going to be Tammy Whiting. I always butcher your name, Tammy. I apologize. At least I know Tammy, right?
Got the Tammy part down. That's good enough. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, there's two Tammys. Tammy Whiting, and she did show her story on with Carrie Mann and everything. So, if you haven't seen it, make sure to check that out.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And she's been many times on Crochet Grandma at Night. She's been in the panel. And so, yeah, I'm pretty excited. Everything is going pretty well. June 24th, I'm hoping you guys check this out, but we're going to have Bella on the 24th of June. So, and there's going to be many, many guests. Many guests on, that I have in it. And I just put a thing out that if you want to be on my show, on my channel, just either email me, and we will discuss a date, and we'll definitely do. And we'll have a good time and everything. So
Tom, how many of the people who've written you and said they want to be on your show, how many have you rejected? How many?
I will never reject you. I will never reject.
I had to ask because I got rejected not by you but by others.
Oh God. Oh my
It
God.
don't bother me.
Yeah.
It don't bother me, And I my day will come, and I wish everybody in the carnivore community the power of healing. However you get there, I don't really care how you get there, as long as you get there.
Right.
And if you don't exactly get to where you want to be, at least you're a lot better place than you were. And that's truly my wish for everybody, and my wish for me. And just it's just I think I've been very lucky, as I've said, and I'm glad I'm where I'm at right now, and looking very forward to next year, and we'll just see what happens. And I'm trying to get up to be able to run a 5K by Thanksgiving time, but I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. We'll see.
Yeah, one thing I've learned though, that even if you don't do something at the time frame that you want to, as long as you can do it at some point, I mean, there's things that I wanted to do by now that I'm just not able to. But it doesn't mean I'm going to say like, oh, okay, I'll never do it.
Yeah,
I would still celebrate when that time comes.
Yeah,
celebrate.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have to be. Actually, I wouldn't want to go to Philadelphia the Saturday before Thanksgiving. I really wouldn't want to be there, but I'd like to run with my grandson and my son, and do the trio. And last year my grandson ran with his two uncles, his mom, his dad, and their wives of the said uncles too. And they had the family run. And
okay. So it's 5:58. We're going to actually do the second spin on the wheel. So let's put it on the thing. And let me just go in here. Let's get the wheel to become bigger. All right. So let me just look at StreamYard. And you know what? We don't need us right now. So put me back on and take the wheel off. So congratulations, Gary. So again, I'm going to put in the thing, just email. Oh, Gary actually should have my email, but just in case, Gary, I will put it in the chats. And I'm also putting this in the chats too for another reason. If you guys want to be on my show, email me that you're interested in being on my show. Chewing the Fat, and as you know, it's not just about being interviewed, it's just about having a nice conversation with just two people, but you guys are in on the conversation as well. So thank you, Constance, I appreciate that. I I love you guys too. You know, I mean, I never knew that my life was going to be like this over a year ago, you know, and 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was in the hospital, you know, just had my toes cut off, and I was pretty much thinking that I even looked at a thing one time on Google saying, like, when you have neuropathy, how long is the lifespan for people with neuropathy that just had their toes? I made sure to mention just had their digits cut off. And, you know, they said your lifespan is about 6 years, you know, and that scared me, you know, and, which is kind of why you know, I did the study. I, you know, saw Sarah Hallberg. I saw, you know, all these people, and I learned that it just became logical to me that carbs create sugars, or made from sugars, basically become sugars, and fats pretty much don't move. So, you know, and you know, you guys have been really amazing, and I do appreciate everything you do, and I just can't believe that we're here now, and I can't believe it's been 2 hours. So, you know, I mean, time flies by when you're having fun, right?
Sure
At
does.
least that's what they say, and we did have a lot of fun today. Thank you, Juju. Thomas, great host with the most and great guests. Well, it's not me, Juju. It's the guests, and you
I
know,
would never been here without you, Thomas. I don't have a channel. I wouldn't be here, buddy.
yeah. Well, you know, we love
And
to hear your story,
I
and not
I
everybody has to have a
encourage
channel. Not
I
everybody has to have a
encourage
channel.
everybody. I encourage everybody to get on here with you because many of you, I'd like to know more about you.
Yeah.
If you're kind of the quiet one, come on down or whatever. Get on. Because, you know, there's people in the community I have a lot of respect for, but the only relationship I have with them is a little bit of chat lines in the chat room. But I kind of like these people, and I know very little about them. I'd like to know more about these people.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
and
know,
Jason's
that's
asking for me to do one more spin. Unfortunately, this was the only one. I'm going to do two. But you know, Jason, don't think that I'm not. I'm actually trying to wheel my head on what we could do to keep this going, because I actually like this wheel idea, and I just need to do some tweaks with it. But we will do something similar again, whether it's with Paul or whether when Paul comes up, we do it again with him. Whatever we have to do, we will bring it back. But this will be the last spin the wheel for a while, because I want to make it perfect for you. Okay.
how many people do we have today? How many do we have?
We have watching. We have 32 people right now.
Cool.
32 people, and we actually had. Let me refresh the page. We actually had 33 likes. So we actually had one like more than we actually have watching the show right now.
Yeah, cool. Way cool.
Mm.
And, you know, that's just a personal pet peeve of mine. But when you come onto a show, damn it, you got a responsibility to click that thumbs up, you know, and do the first thing you do before you chat and say hello to anybody, you hit that thumbs up, then you go in and chat with your buddies.
Yeah.
Everybody should be doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it helps, but it's a good policy.
It does. I mean, it's polite, you know. It's definitely polite.
Yeah.
But you know, I know there's times though where you go into a channel and it's like, okay, I thought I was gonna like. So I mean, you know, like I think everybody can say this. Like, if you're not really happy with the channel, then just don't watch it. You know. But I hope I made everybody happy here. We got a couple other people that just joined in, but we're going to be ending soon. But we have a Sue. I'll put it up in the thing because I don't. These are new people that have come on. They probably just became riblets just recently. So let's both let's all of us bring in Sue Galati. I do think I do know these names, but let's welcome you anyway. Sue Galati 8262. God with you, Thomas and Paul. Great job. Thank you. And Sherry Lynn 74. I just joined and made sure to hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Sherry Lynn. You know, Tammy is saying great job. Yeah, well, she actually says, I'm sorry, Tammy, you're a riblet, so you know, I have to make fun of you a little bit. It wouldn't be me if I didn't. Thomas, you Donna, great job. I'm thinking you're saying you've done a great job, but I'm guessing Donna did a great job too. So Brian Dish, yeah, I'm like Mitch in that way. If I don't tease you a little bit, that means I don't love you. Okay.
Oh,
So
now I get it. Okay,
everybody
all
have
right.
well, not like that. If I don't tease you, somewhat, then that just means that I just don't want to talk to you at all. So.
Oh boy.
Brian Dish is in the house. Hey, Brian Dish. Everybody have an awesome rest of your weekend and eat meat. And speaking of eating meat, what would the show be without the ending? So let's make myself bigger.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
love, heal. Oh, did I do that wrong on my own thing? Love, live, heal. And I'll let Paul take this one. And for God's sakes,
Eat the meat.
excellent. All right.